guys, and welcome back to the Laird Performance YouTube channel. Today we have got something pretty cool to show you. We have got a new car. Now I know some of you might be thinking that I've already got one of these, why do I need another one? Well, the other car is a very clean car. It's low mileage and I don't want to go too crazy with it, so there's just no point in doing that. However, this car on the other hand, well, it's got a bit of a story. And whenever you hear somebody say there's a bit of a story with this car, well, usually that's the last car you want to buy. But this one is actually quite good. This is possibly the highest mileage RS I have ever seen. But it's just so clean. Everything about it's super clean. The way the car drives is excellent. There is, nothing really that screams that it's a high mileage car. But the thing was, one of the previous owners used it for a lot of Euro trips. So you rack up the mileage just doing something like this. You could be doing thousands and thousands of miles just in the one trip. But let's have a wee look at the inside and we'll show you what we mean by it's really not looking like 127,000 miles worth of car. Don't get me wrong, I did just get this detailed. I mean, you've got the classic little bit of wear here, but even the steering wheel isn't bad. The seats, they've not got excessive amounts of wear on them and everything just comes up nice. All the buttons and stuff like that, everything is all shined up lovely. We've got a nice carbon gear knob here. Even in the back, everything is absolutely mint. Now in general, the bodywork in this car, for a car of its mileage, certainly, and even its age, you've got a couple of stone chips as you always would. There's a single dent that I can find on the car, and that's it really. The rest of the bodywork's absolutely spot on. Even the exhaust isn't the worst when it comes to how much carbon build-up's on it. It's not the worst ever. The car is absolutely gleaming. It's a really clean car. But like any high mileage car, there is a couple of giveaways. One of the giveaways is down where the wheels are. There's a bit of road rash down there, from all the pebbles coming up and hitting it. That's only normal, but a bit of paint will sort that, it's not a problem. The wheels have got a couple of chips on them, so I'm going to need to get them sorted because it's doing my head in. So the only problem I've currently got with it is just it's developed a small headlight fault, which is quite common in these cars, so we'll get that fixed and that'll be absolutely fine. But what are the plans for it? Well, I don't know. I've been uncertain about what I want to do with it, whether I want to just fix it and get rid of it, or do I want to take it to be like a drag car, or do I want it to be just a street car that's good fun to drive and has plenty of power. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it, so I'm just going to roll with it. But if you have got any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Now I have already started modifying this car. I've already put a better intercooler on it because the original intercooler that was on it was a bit tatted looking, so I've upgraded it to a bigger AirTech intercooler. I'm trying to think what else I've actually done. I've tuned it to make it 400 horsepower, so that was a bit better than what it was at. These cars never seem to produce the power correctly, so it's just that basic intake that's on it and that intercooler. That's all we've got, and making 400 horsepower on that, you can't really grumble. But it's got four-way map switching, so it's got all the toys. It's got the no lift shift, it's got the adjustable launch control, it's got the adjustable boost control. I'm trying to think what else it's got. Auto rev blip on the downshift, it's got that. There's not really much that it doesn't have now, and I've just started with it. One thing I really want to do is do a bit of rear drive unit tuning, because I think that makes a big difference when it comes to launching these cars, which I think is something that we're going to try and explore a little bit with this. And like I said, I don't want to do it with the other one because it's a bit too clean. That if anything goes wrong, well, that's a problem. This car, on the other hand, it's already got the mileage, so it's not really going to matter. It's a good base car to start with. The problem with a Focus RS is mainly that people know the engine isn't the strongest. That's just a fact. We all know that. But every time you get in one, it feels special. They feel really good to drive. They're enjoyable cars. The fact they've got like drift mode and stuff like that, it's not something I've ever used, but it might be something I use in this one, just to give it a go and see how it all pans out, Now, I'm not going to lie, the reason I've started filming this right now is because I've not long had it all detailed. The chances are the next couple of clips are going to be a little bit of a time down the line. So it might not be as clean, and I might be wearing different clothes. And now that I've had time to think about it, I know exactly what I don't like about this car, and one of the main things is the sound system is horrific.
There's like no bass.
Yeah.
Those who know me know I quite like my bassy music. I like my hard style, you know, I like all that sort of stuff. And the subwoofer in this car is just not cutting it in comparison to anything else. So I need to fix that, and I might have a fix for that thanks to my old van that I no longer have. I used to have a universal subwoofer in that. So I'm going to see if I can rip this one out and then put that one in. This will be an interesting one. I don't do anything like this. This part here is the part we're going to be replacing. What I'm going to try and do is basically just get rid of these wires and put a new one in. You know, I'll still need to wire it into the battery and stuff like that, but I think that will make a massive difference to us if I can just unplug that and, you know, change the wiring a little bit. That would be great. What I'm probably going to have to do first is take all of this out so I can see where these wires go, see if they split off anywhere, and then I can work out what is what. You know what, for having like 120,000 miles on it, I think this thing is actually quite clean in the back here, but I'm still going to have to give that a bit of a clean because that's bogging. But that's a fair bit better now, just a wee bit of a clean up, spruce up, and that'll do us. I just need to try and work out where this wire goes now. Well, I knew there was something I was missing, and it's this thing here. I must have left that in my old van, so I've had to order another one from eBay because I can't buy one anywhere today. So that's going to hold us back a little bit. There is no point in me going any further forward today. I'll just need to wait it out until I get this bit, and then I can start chucking it in. So I better build this back up for the now. So while we wait for the part coming so that I can install the subwoofer system, let's have a look underneath this car, because with the mileage it's on, you'd expect it to be rusty. Come and have a look at this. How about that for 127,000 miles? It is in great nick. It's absolutely brilliant. Aside from maybe down there where the under tray is drooping a little bit, but we're going to replace that anyway. I think we're going to put one of the big AirTex ones on it, which will be much better, and you know, it'll look cool as well.
A few moments later.
So basically what I'm doing is, now that I've got my part, I'm going to try and use some of my tuning utensils that I've got just to make a very temporary solution to this, and then test it out, make sure it actually works, and then I'll actually wire it in. But just for the time being, I want to see if this is going to work. We've got sound. It's safe to say that my contraption has worked. I'm happy enough with that. I just need to unplug it all now and actually do it properly, but I'm glad that we've worked out what's what. I mean, I had to use the multimeter and whatnot to try and work out what was what, but the ideal thing is I don't need to start piecing into speakers and all that. I can literally just go right into these, and that should be me done and dusted. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all this back out. I'm going to order actual wire for it, because this is just some stuff that I found and came across. I'll get the actual wires for it, sort it out properly, and then put it all together. I mean, it's really not a tonight job after a full-blown shift anyway. Aye, this will be a weekend number. Well, it is now the weekend, so it is time to get back on with the sub install. I bought this thing, which should be the right thing for this particular sub. It should do the job. I'm hoping that I've got enough wire for the rest of it, but this is the kind of main bit. This should be a bit longer than what I've already got, hopefully. This is a little bit longer than the car I last had one of these in, so it's been a fair while since we've installed something like this, but this will be a laugh. Let's see how this goes. Now, I am no audio engineer. I think that much is blatantly apparent. If I wanted a fancy boot build, I would have done it. But on this occasion, I've got something lying about and I just want to use it, because it'll make this 100 times better. I've saved all that old wire as well, because why not? Might come in handy for something, you just never know. Right, time to strip all this back out again. My aim this time is to actually do a tidier job than what I was doing, obviously, when I was just testing out that the sub actually worked. So the way I had that wired up, I would not recommend doing that. But, you know, it's one of those ones. It was quick, easy, and I had the tools there to do it, so I thought, whatever happens with it doesn't really matter too much. The thing's old, it's been lying there for God knows how many years now. And I just want to see if this thing actually works before I waste my time wiring it in. The good thing is that it does actually work, so that is half the battle. But I want to wire it up actually properly this time. Now that I've got a few bits ripped off, I should be able to get a bit more access to a couple of bits that I might need access to. Now, if you watch some of the videos online, you'll be able to see that people can go in down here somewhere, but I don't think that's going to be possible on our model. I'm going to need to maybe go in somewhere else, which is a bit of a pain. Ah, that other place looked so easy, but ours is covered by a big servo, so that's great. So now that I've sorted out my access point, I've put a hole in it, and all I need to do is try and feed it through. So I'm going to need like a coat hanger and straighten out or something, just something to give me a bit of rigidity. Attach it onto the actual original wire and then pull it through. It's actually looking like it might actually be a bit easier than how the American guy's done it, which is a good thing because now I've found the access point. We're cooking, it'll be fine. So what I've got here is something that comes in quite handy at points. We ended up with this old dipstick that was actually damaged, so what we've done is we just cut it. So this might be the opportune tool. I'll just need to see if I can get the tape to actually stick to it, because it's always been covered in oil. As you can imagine, it's not going to be that sticky, but this would be the ideal thing to try and poke through so that I can then pull the wire from the inside. We now officially have the wire through, so that's good. Now I just need to try and route it all the way to the back, which means pulling off a couple of plastics and stuff like that and getting this all tucked away nicely. Well, now we have the cable completely routed. It's now in the back here, and it's not particularly too badly routed, it's fine. What I'm going to do now is basically strip this back a little bit and attach an end on it. That way I can just put it straight onto the subwoofer when it's ready to go on. So after a bit of soldering work and stuff like that, I've now got to the point where I managed to actually test the sub running, and it runs okay, which is fine. I just need to tidy up the rest of the wiring, get into this little fuse box here with one of my little wiring setups that I've done, and then we should be all good to go and get it all built back up and see if we can do as neat an install as we possibly can. That is it now, fully installed. It should all work as I expect it to, and it looks relatively clean enough. I mean, it's not a proper boot build, it's just something I had lying about, but it's going to work, and it will give us much better music for when we're making the long journey all the way to the Netherlands.
There's like no bass. There's no bass on it, so it doesn't knock on the speakers, right?
Basically, I just need to go and grab some double-sided tape, and that'll get everything pretty much finished off with that. As far as sub installs go, that was probably pretty easy because everything was all round about the one area. The hardest part was putting in the actual battery feed. That was a bit of a pain, but you know, if you've got a strong enough knife, that is the kind of main thing for cutting through that little bit that you need to poke through, then you're pretty much shooty in, it's easy enough to install. Well, that is all for today's video. We hope you guys enjoyed it, something a little bit different. Next time on the channel, we will be taking the focus all the way up to the Highlands to attend the Highlander tracking show, where we managed to rip it round this little go-kart track, have some fun with it, and also see if it lasts. So make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.